Have you ever sat down to study English and just felt completely lost? You know, like you're staring at a huge mountain and you have no idea where to even start climbing?
That feeling is incredibly common. But the good news is there are smarter ways to study, not just harder ways. And today, we're going to share some of our absolute favorite tips to make learning English feel less like a chore and more like an adventure.
Exactly. So, hello everyone and welcome to the show. I'm Veronica.
And I'm Adam, and you're listening to English with Adam, your cozy corner on the internet for learning English in a way that's fun, effective, and, well, actually makes sense.
We're so happy you're here with us today. So, Adam, you've helped so many people learn English over the years. Where should we start? What's the biggest, most important tip you have?
That's a great question. I think the most fundamental tip before anything else is consistency over intensity.
Okay, consistency over intensity. What does that mean exactly?
Well, many learners think they need to have these long marathon study sessions. You know, they'll try to study for 3 or 4 hours every Saturday. But then they get tired, they get burnt out, and they don't do anything for the rest of the week.
Oh yeah, that sounds familiar. Like you're cramming for a test.
Precisely. And it's just not effective for long-term language learning. It's far, far better to study for just 20 or 30 minutes, but to do it every single day. That daily contact with English creates a habit. It keeps the language at the front of your mind and makes it much easier to remember things.
That makes so much sense. It feels less intimidating too. Just a little bit every day instead of one giant, scary study session.
It really is. Building a small daily habit is the foundation for everything else. Which actually leads into my second tip, understanding the difference between active and passive learning.
Ooh, okay. Active and passive. So what's the difference? I feel like I do a lot of passive learning just by watching movies in English.
And that's a great example. Passive learning is when you are consuming the language, watching a movie, listening to a podcast, like this one, or reading a book for pleasure. It's wonderful for improving your listening skills and getting a feel for the rhythm of the language. It is important. But active learning is when you are directly interacting with the material. You aren't just watching the movie, you're watching it with a goal. Maybe you write down 5 new words you hear. Or you pause after a character says an interesting phrase and you repeat it out loud.
Okay, so you have a job to do while you're watching. You're not just letting the words wash over you, you're grabbing them.
That's a perfect way to put it. You're grabbing them. Active learning is doing grammar exercises, making flashcards, speaking with a language partner, writing a short journal entry. It's the work part of learning. A healthy study plan needs a good balance of both.
That's a fantastic point. I feel like that helps organize your study time better. You can say, okay, today I'll do 15 minutes of active flashcard review, and then for my passive learning, I'll watch 1 episode of a show I like.
Yes, and speaking of shows you like, that brings me to tip number 3. Find what you love and do it in English.
This is my favorite advice.
It's so important. If you hate reading news articles, don't force yourself to read the BBC every day. You'll just end up quitting. But if you love cooking, watch cooking videos on YouTube in English. If you love video games, change the game's language to English.
Right. Or if you love fashion, follow some English-speaking fashion bloggers on social media.
Yes, when you connect English to your passions, your hobbies, it stops feeling like studying. It just becomes a part of your life. Your motivation stays high because you're actually enjoying yourself. Okay, so we have be consistent, balance active and passive learning, and connect it to your hobbies. But what about the part where you have to, actually speak? That's the scariest part for so many people.
Oh, definitely. The fear of making a mistake can be paralyzing.
It is. And that is tip number 4. You absolutely must give yourself permission to make mistakes. Mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that you are trying. Think about it. No baby learns to walk without falling down hundreds of times. No one. Making mistakes is how our brains learn. If you say a sentence and the grammar is wrong and someone corrects you, you are much more likely to remember the correct way next time.
That's such a good mindset to have. It's proof of effort, not a reason to be embarrassed. And honestly, most native speakers are very happy to help. They're just glad you're trying to speak their language.
You are so right. The goal is communication, not perfection. If people understand what you mean, you have succeeded. The perfection will come much, much later with practice.
Okay, so we have our mindset right. We're ready to make some mistakes. What's the last big tip for today?
My last tip is to use technology wisely. We live in an amazing time for language learning. There are so many tools right at our fingertips.
So you mean things like language apps?
Yes, apps are great for vocabulary, but also things like online dictionaries, grammar websites, and my personal favorite, spaced repetition systems, SRS. These are basically smart flashcard apps like Anki or Quizlet that show you a word right before you are about to forget it. It's an incredibly efficient way to memorize vocabulary.
Wow, that sounds like a superpower for your memory.
It really is. You can also find online communities or language exchange apps where you can practice speaking with native speakers from all over the world, right from your living room. Technology can connect you with the language and its people in ways that were never possible before.
Okay, this has been so helpful. Should we do a quick recap of the 5 tips?
Let's do it. So number 1 was consistency over intensity. A little bit every day is better than a lot once a week.
Number 2, balance your active and passive learning. Make sure you are both consuming and actively using the language.
Number 3, connect English to your passions. Do what you love in English.
Number 4, don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are proof that you are learning.
And finally, number 5, use technology wisely to help you memorize, practice, and connect.
Those are such amazing practical tips. Thank you so much for sharing all of that, Adam.
Of course, and thank you to everyone who tuned in to listen. We hope you found this helpful on your English learning journey.
If you enjoyed this episode of English with Adam, we would be so grateful if you could take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out a lot.
And we would love to hear from you. Please leave a comment down below. Introduce yourself, tell us where you're from, or share your own favorite tip for studying English. We read every single one.
Until next time, keep learning and have a wonderful day.
Bye, everyone!